Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to make a relationship work, the faster it seems to fall apart? You tell yourself, this time is different. You communicate more, you open up, you try harder. And yet, you end up in the exact same place. This isn't bad luck. It isn't because you keep choosing the wrong people. It is a pattern. And until you understand where it comes from, it will repeat, quietly, predictably, and relentlessly. There is a single childhood wound driving this loop, and today, we are going to look at the machinery behind it. If you analyze relationship pain, you find it follows a specific structure. You either chase closeness and feel abandoned, or you create distance and feel trapped. Sometimes you cycle between both. This is not a personal failure. It is the result of an emotional blueprint formed long before you had the language to describe it. This is the architecture of the attachment wound. When you were a child, your brain had one priority: survival, and survival depended entirely on others. Your nervous system was constantly asking, is it safe to need someone? Will they come when I reach for them? If care was unpredictable, sometimes warm, sometimes distant, your brain learned a specific rule: closeness is unstable, and safety must be managed. That rule didn't disappear when you grew up. It became automatic. Most adult relationship struggles are simply reenactments of three specific survival strategies. As you listen, observe which one feels familiar. The first is anxious attachment. This pattern forms when love was inconsistent. Because care arrived and disappeared randomly, the nervous system learned to stay hyper-vigilant. As an adult, closeness feels essential but fragile. You see a read receipt, but no reply comes. In that gap, the body releases cortisol and panic sets in. Silence feels like abandonment. You don't logically want control, you biologically want safety. The second is avoidant attachment. This forms when emotional needs were dismissed or ignored. The child learned that needing others led to pain, so they learned not to need. As an adult, independence feels safe, while intimacy feels intrusive. When a relationship deepens, the system reacts by pulling away, not out of malice, but because closeness registers as a loss of autonomy. The third is disorganized attachment. This occurs when the caregiver was both the source of comfort and the source of fear. This creates a painful biological paradox. The nervous system craves connection and distrusts it simultaneously. Calm feels unfamiliar. Chaos feels recognizable. Relationships cycle between intensity and collapse because stability feels dangerous. These patterns do not operate through logic. They operate through the nervous system. A minor disagreement triggers a survival response. A neutral tone is read as rejection. A single sentence can hijack your entire emotional state. The body reacts first. The mind explains it later. This is why knowing better rarely changes the outcome. When the brain is scanning for signs of abandonment, relaxation becomes impossible. So, how does this structure change? It does not happen through willpower. It happens through recalibration. Psychologically, these wounds do not heal through insight alone. They require new data. The process is mechanical. It begins with awareness, the brain observing its own reaction rather than becoming it. Next is regulation, where the nervous system learns to differentiate the safety of the present from the danger of the past. When this shift occurs, the locus of safety moves. It transitions from being an external demand placed on others to an internal stability held within. The pattern breaks not because the person tries harder, but because the brain no longer predicts abandonment as the only possible outcome. The behaviors that disrupt relationships today were once intelligent survival strategies. They kept you safe when you had no control. But they are outdated software. You are not broken. You are patterned, and patterns can change. When you understand the blueprint, you gain the ability to rewrite it. Your past shaped you, but it doesn't have to dictate what comes next.